At the beginning of everyone's trading journey, you come across these complicated order types such as buy limits, sell limits, buy stops, sell stops, and market orders. And you're always scratching your head and wondering, what are these and how do I use them? Well, in today's video, I'm going to completely destroy these concepts so that you can understand them in a very simplistic manner, and you'll never ask someone, what is a buy stop? What's a buy limit? So let's get right into it. So we actually have three types of orders. So we've got our market orders, we've got our limit orders, and we've got our stop orders. So I'm going to go over a market order first. So a market order can either be a buy or a sell. And basically what a market order does is it gets you into the market right now. For example, let's say you're looking at the Amazon stock at the moment and you want to buy it. So what you would do is you'd click on buy market, and what it would do is it would get you into that trade right now. Similarly, we can talk about a sell market. If you have an Amazon stock and you look at it and you're like, oh, it's doing very well, let me make some profit here, you would want to get out right now, so you'd use a sell market order. Moving on to number 2, which is a limit order. So we've got two types of limit orders. We've got a buy limit and we've got a sell limit. So a limit order basically gets us in at a better price than we're currently at. Let me give you an example for a buy limit first. So let's say currently the Amazon stock is trading at $100. And you think, okay, I want to get in the stock. However, $100 is too expensive for me. I want to make a better return. What you say is, okay, I want to get in at $90. Currently the market's at $100, you want to get in at $90. So you'd place this special order called a buy limit, which basically gets you in at a better price than you're currently at. Now let's use the example of a sell limit. So let's say you bought your stock, later you want to sell it. So let's say you bought it at $100 and you say, okay, cool. When it goes up to $150, I want to sell it. But you don't want to sit on your market screen the whole day waiting for it to reach 150. You just want, as soon as it gets to that 150, I want to sell. So you'd use this special term called a sell limit. So it's basically above the market price and it will sell right there instead of you selling at the market currently. So number 3, let's move on to stop orders. But before we move on, please can you drop a comment down there and let me know what other finance concepts you'd like me to simplify. So we have two types of stop orders. We have a buy stop and we have a sell stop. So the best way to explain this one is to use an example with a buy stop and a sell stop. Let's say currently you want to trade the Amazon stock. It's currently at $100, but maybe your trading plan says that, you only want to get into this stock when it passes $110. So what it's saying is at the moment, we are here at the current market price, and I want to get in when it goes above the market price. That's when I want to buy. And that's what we would call a buy stop. So the way you can think of it is it's the opposite of a buy limit, because a buy stop is you are getting in above the market price, whereas a buy limit you're getting below the market price. So let's go on to a sell stop. So let's say currently you've bought the Amazon stock at $100 and you say to yourself, right, if this stock goes down to $80, I want to get out. So once the stock goes below a specific point, I want to get out. This is what we term a sell stop. So again, it's the opposite of a sell limit, because a sell limit, you are selling above the market price, whereas a sell stop, you are selling below the market price. So before we move on to the acronym, let me summarize what I've spoke about using all these different orders. So let's start with all the buy orders. So we've got 3 types of buy orders. We have a buy market order, which basically gets us in at the current price right now. We've got the buy limit, which gets us in at a better price. And then we've got a buy stop, which gets us, if you want to think about it, gets us in at a worse price. Let's look at a diagram right now for you to be able to see this. Currently, you can see we're at the market price. So if we want to buy here, we would just use a buy market order. Now, below the market price, if we want to get in below this market price, we would put in a buy limit, as you can see over there. And if you want to get above the market price, then you would use a buy stop. Now let's try again using the cells. So again, we have a sell market, a sell limit, and a sell stop. So let's look at the diagram again to show you how it would work. So if we want to sell at the market price where we currently are, we would use a sell market. Now, if we want to sell above the market price, we would use a sell limit. And if we want to sell below the market price, we would use a sell stop. So now that we've covered all of that, let's go into the final bit, which is the special acronym that's going to simplify everything so that you never have to worry about what are these orders and when do I use them. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about the special acronym that helps me remember the buy limit, sell stop, sell limit, and buy stop. And what I'm going to draw is I'm going to draw a line, and this line resembles the current market price. Okay, so this is where the market is currently. So what I like to do is there's this special acronym which I call BLISS. You always put that below this current market price. So you draw this diagram and you put BLISS. So BLSS. What BL stands for is buy limit. SS is my sell stop. Now that I got BLSS, what I do is, what's the opposite? Well, what's the opposite of a buy limit? The opposite of a buy limit is my buy stop. So I put my buy stop above here. And then what's the opposite of a sell stop? It's a sell limit. So my SL. So now with this diagram, I'm able to now know what sort of order do I place depending on what's going on. So let me explain it. So let's say I'm at this current market price here on this line. So let's talk about just our buys for now. Let's say I want to buy below this current market price. So obviously I want to buy here, somewhere here, which is below this market price. So my market price is here and I want to buy somewhere there. So now I know that the order that I'm going to use is a buy limit because that's the one that's below the current market price. Similarly, if I want to buy something which is above here, so currently I'm at this market price, but I only want to buy when it gets to here, I'm going to use a buy stop. Now, when we want to sell, we only look at this quadrant here. So now let's say I'm at current market price here, as we always are, and I want to sell when it is below this price, right? So when it's below where the current market is. So when it's below the current market, if I want to sell, if that's the order that I want, I'm going to use the sell stop. Similarly, if I'm currently here at current market price here, and I want to sell when we get above this price, so somewhere here, I know that the order that I'm going to use is a sell limit because that's the one that's above. And that's the simple way of being able to understand how buy stops, buy limits, sell limits, and sell stops work. So that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you want to understand the difference between a long and a short, you can watch that video right over there.